Today I'm going to be reviewing this Ello thermos or coffee mug that I recently purchased on Amazon. Now, this one is designed according to their lid that it is going to be leak proof. So I'm actually going to be testing that out here in this video. And then also it says it's designed to keep liquids hot for 5 hours. So I've got a digital thermometer that I'm going to be running that test with as well. I'm going to take and warm up water here in the microwave, get it hot, put it inside of here. Then I'm going to take this and put it in the fridge. So at about 30-ish degrees or so. And then we'll test it after an hour and see how hot it stays. First thing I want to do though is test out and see if this lid is leak proof. So let's put some water inside. Okay, so I've got water inside of here, and just to kind of show that I actually do, I'm going to be pouring some out here so you can see the water is actually pouring out. So now this is supposed to be the leak proof lid, so I'm going to shake off that little bit of water that was there. And now let's go ahead and turn it upside down and shake it. So it looks like it is actually going to be leak proof. I'm not seeing any water coming out on the counter besides that original amount that I poured out. I'm shaking it, turning it upside down. I got it sideways, I got it all the way up, and it is not leaking at all. So it actually is a leak proof lid. So it's not leaking. I'm not seeing any leaks around the edges or any leaks at all from this top slider. So that's amazing that it is actually going to be a leak proof lid on this. So I love that about this. Way too often, we'll have a coffee mug and we'll tip it over maybe in the car or at work or something like that, and it'll make a mess. So having a leak-proof lid like this from Ello is a great option. Now the next thing I want to test out for it is actually going to be how warm the water stays. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this water, I'm going to pour it into a coffee mug, warm it up in the microwave. I'll give you the starting temperature here with the digital thermometer. Then I'm going to put it in the fridge and leave it in it for an hour and see how well it keeps the temperature in an hour at 30-ish degrees. So I got the water warmed up, put inside of here. This is gonna fit about 1.5 or so cups of coffee inside of this one here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this out, just to kind of show you what the temperature is here, and then let's stick it right inside the water. So you can see our starting temperature of this water is going to be 142.2 degrees. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it inside of the fridge. Again, our fridge is about 34 degrees or so, so right at freezing. And I'm going to be testing out how well it holds that water hot, how well it holds the heat for that water. So let me go ahead and put it in the fridge. So there we go, going right in next to the milk and everything else that we have in here. The bottle itself is already cold on the outside. It was just room temperature prior to this. So the heat hasn't like transferred onto the outside of this. But I'm gonna stick it right here in the back, and then I'm gonna test out and see what our temperature is here in an hour. So it's been in the fridge for an hour. I did have this lid entirely shut. Outside of this is going to be nice and cold. So I got the same digital thermometer that I'm gonna be testing it out on. So let's go ahead and pop this open and see what the current temperature is inside. So current internal temperature is going to be about, let me try not to touch the size so it doesn't mess it up. Looks like gonna be 129, 130 or so of the actual temperature. So it did have a pretty large drop after being in the fridge for an hour. It dropped from that, I think it was 144 down to that 130. So it had a 130 degree drop just over, or sorry, a 13 degree drop or 14 degree drop just over the course of an hour. Now this does say it keeps things cold or hot for 5 hours. If that rate kept up, I do not see that being possible. It might still be lukewarm after 5 hours, but actually keeping it hot does not appear to be the case, at least from this test. So that's 1 hour again inside of the fridge at 30 to 35 degrees. So like if you have it sitting in a car outside, or you're outside working on the, you're at your property, or on a job site or something like that where it's outside, you want to have a nice hot drink. After an hour, it's still going to be hot. Like 130 degrees is still certainly plenty hot for you to drink. But it did have a pretty big steep drop of there, dropping off 13, 14 degrees over the course of an hour. So you're probably only gonna get maybe 2 or 3 hours of hot liquid out of this, and then you're gonna probably start to fall off into that warm liquid. It will keep it warm, but in regards to keeping it at the same temperature or close, definitely not.